Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing tonight on this late Monday night? Happy Monday to everybody. It's your boy Mike D, aka DDE8, aka 13th Wonder of the World. So nice to talk to you guys tonight on the point of view, the late cap of the point of view. Excuse me, let me close this door. Um, Kind of cold outside, but you know what? Hey, get somewhere where it's warm. I'm hoping that everybody had a great weekend. You know, most of you probably are upset that the Ravens didn't beat the Chiefs. Most of you are wondering why the Lions didn't put the whooping to the 49ers after having them up by 17 points in the game. I will talk about the the game between the Chiefs and the Ravens, as well as the Lions and the 49ers. Congratulations to all four teams that got a chance to play for a title. But what went wrong between the Lions and the Ravens? We'll find all that out. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I will also give my thoughts on who's going to win the Super Bowl. In a little pain. Didn't go to the job tonight. Kind of body's aching all over. So I'm just trying to rest my body a little bit there. The point of view would have been on earlier in the day, but my body was so ravished, aching all over, mostly because of the weather, but also I was exercising up and down some steps over the weekend, and that's part of the problem as well, as I try to keep my knee in good shape. Shout out to the Point Place family. Shout out to Bobby Reezy. Shout out to M Breezy. Shout out to Naya. Shout out to my sister. I love all y'all. And thank y'all for joining me on the point of view on this night. The NBA's been terrible tonight. The Bucks lost. The Clippers lost. The Lakers lost. The T-Wolves lost to the OKC Thunder. It's been a bad Monday in the NBA for teams, but I will say this: LeBron James played an excellent game the other night against Golden State. 36, 20 rebounds and 12 assists. 20 rebounds for a man that's 38 years old, 39 years old, playing absolute tremendous basketball, one age away from 40, and LeBron is doing this. Shout out to the great LeBron James. Tonight he had 27 points. I think he scored 20 tonight. He's beating Father Time with a stick. So shout out to the great LeBron James for doing what he does as well. Let me get into the football before I go to the wrestling. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about yesterday's games. Now, the Detroit Lions had the 49ers scared again. I told everybody that the Lions were going to put up a fight. In fact, they had to fight. But Brock Purdy, Kittles, and those boys, they're just something special, man. And they're special enough to win, to come back and win from being down by 17, the same way that the Green Bay Packers played them. The thing that the 49ers cannot do now, they cannot go down against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Because if they do, they could kiss their Super Bowl championship goodbye. It ain't gonna happen. Not unless they be up on, and they have to be up, extremely up on the Chiefs in order to beat them. They have to beat the Chiefs like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Chiefs when they won the Super Bowl back in 2021. That's the way that they've got to play them. Patrick Mahomes is nobody to bet against. And I said this. The Ravens played a poor, terrible game against Kansas City. Lamar Jackson, and I heard somebody say this, that he had not been fumbling the ball in the playoffs, and he fumbled the ball in the game yesterday against Kansas City. They were not able to stop him. They were not able to do anything to stop the Kelsey ran over him. So we'll see what happens in the Super Bowl with the 49ers and the Chiefs. This is a rematch from when the Kansas City Chiefs won their first when Patrick Mahomes won his first Super Bowl against this same 49ers team. But the difference was Jimmy G was the quarterback, not Brock Purdy. Kittles and them were there when they lost. Kittles was there when they lost back in 2020 and 2020. So 4-year rematch in the making. And they got the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, which would be ring number 3 for Patrick Mahomes. He'd be 4 more behind Tom Brady if he was to win. But I don't know. I don't know, guys. I think that the 49ers can beat the Chiefs. I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes, but I'm going to say this. I believe that the Chiefs can lose the Super Bowl. And that's just my thoughts on that. But I'll talk more about that as the Super Bowl starts coming, which will be coming within the next couple of weeks. But let me get on wrestling. First of all, let me get on the Royal Rumble. Tremendous show, even though it only had 2 showcase title matches. But the Royal Rumble was the greatest showcase of them all. The Women's Royal Rumble. Congratulations to Bayley. She was one of my 3 picks. And I said it that she was going to be one of them to win the Royal Rumble. And she did. And if you watched Raw tonight, she didn't make the pick on Rhea Ripley because of the attack by Nia Jax on Rhea Ripley. Say she will make her decision on Friday. Friday is going to be Io Sky against Bayley at WrestleMania. It's not going to be Rhea Ripley. Nia Jax will fight Rhea Ripley at the Elimination Chamber and lose. And then it will be Becky versus Rhea at WrestleMania. Because that's the way that it's going to be. There's no way in the world that you don't make that match between Becky and Rhea. And you can add Nia Jax to it and make it a triple threat. Those are 2 scenarios. The other scenario is this. Where does Bianca go now since she don't have a WrestleMania pair? But I tell you this. Guess who does have a path? Bayley and Io Sky. Those 2 are going to be fighting at WrestleMania for the title. And Bayley's going to win. Bayley is going to step on the toes of Io Sky and stop Damage Control. She's going to be the breakup of Damage Control. Watch what I tell you. Or Damage Control is going to go without her. Watch what I tell you. It sucks that CM Punk is injured and he's not going to be at WrestleMania. I don't know now who fights Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I think you go Cody versus Roman versus Seth. And this is just me talking. WWE does not need to make the mistake of combining both world titles again. They don't need to do that. Because if Roman Reigns wins, he is not going to come on Raw and defend that title. He's going to keep that title on SmackDown if he wins. I think Cody ends the story at WrestleMania. I thought at first he wasn't going to do it, but congratulations to Cody for winning the Royal Rumble. He's the 10th superstar in WWE history to win the Royal Rumble twice. He makes number 10. So we'll see what happens with that as the story goes on and on. I don't know who's going to fight Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I could see Randy Orton. If you want to make a match with Randy versus Seth for the title, you could give Randy Orton his 15th championship run. It's difficult now because CM Punk his injury has put a lot of plans on hold. I think you still go, even if Seth Rollins is not the champion, and CM Punk comes back for SummerSlam in August. That'll be 6 months from now. I think 7 months from now, because we're still in January. But I say, why not make CM Punk versus Seth at SummerSlam with no title on the line or nothing? I think you give him the Royal Rumble next year and he wins the title at WrestleMania 41. These are propositions and opinions of mine about the whole WrestleMania thing right now with the Royal Rumble. This is going to be interesting to see. You can still go Gunther versus Seth Rollins if you want to. The Intercontinental title versus the World title. And Gunther wins the title. It would be the logical piece if you want to do that. If you want to make but I think you still go, if Brock Lesnar gets cleared of all these accusations, whatever he has against him, along with John Laurinaitis, who now is going through the same thing, but it was always, you could look and tell that he's always guilty about something, John Laurinaitis, even though he's married to Brie Bella and Nikki Bella's mom, and they're not even happy with the accusations of what he's done right now. So we'll see what happens as that unfolds. But I don't know who's going to fight Seth Rollins for the title at Mania. You go Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn in a fatal four-way for the title at Mania. That could happen. Wow. And if somebody else wins the title, then Damian Priest could cash in there. Judgment Day, they have a whole, and let me say this. This could be the Miz and R-Truth moment at WrestleMania. If Truth, R-Truth, and Miz beat the Judgment Day for the titles at WrestleMania, you talk about a tremendous story. This would be a Zack Ryder moment all over again. This would be a Miz moment again. We'll have to see as the stories are unfolding. DIY loses, but I think DIY has a chance to once again get the belts, as well as the Creed brothers. Some great, interesting, arc and pieces are going as we get ready for the Elimination Chamber. I think at the Elimination Chamber, you decide who's going to fight Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. That's your WrestleMania main event right there. Whoever wins that Elimination Chamber, because that's what's going to happen now. You're going to have a 6-person match at the Elimination Chamber to figure out who's going to become the number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight title for Seth Rollins. And also, you also are going to have that to find out who's going to fight Rhea Ripley. because Rhea Ripley is going to fight Nia Jax, and Nia Jax is going to lose. If Becky Lynch gets in that Elimination Chamber, she's going to win that Elimination Chamber, and that's going to be your WrestleMania match right there. It's just that plain and simple. It's just the way of the world. It's just that we're going to see what happens with the road to WrestleMania. Where does AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Randy Orton go? You know, what's next for Bianca, like I said? Shout out to Jade Cargill for making her debut. She's still green, but making her Royal Rumble, debut. Naomi's back, a.k.a. Trinity. She's back with WWE, I think. Jordan Grace from TNA. Like I told everybody, WWE and TNA have been working together for years now. They have an agreement where they work together. So this is the thing. If Jordan Grace was to exit her contract from TNA, WWE would pick her up because she had a great showing last night at the Royal Rumble. Shout out to Jordan Grace for what she did at the Royal Rumble as well. Good to see Liv Morgan back. What's her story? What's her story for WrestleMania? You know, it's a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces. Andrade just signed with Raw. What's he gonna do on Raw? You'll find out what he's gonna do on Raw in the next couple of weeks, probably next week. You know, we'll see what Andrade does on Raw. It's good to see Braun Breaker had a breakout, Royal Rumble. He took the spot of Brock Lesnar. Because all that what he was doing, Brock Lesnar was going to do that. But I still think in the back of my mind, you go with Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens with that as well as the weeks go on and on and on. And as the time goes on and on and on with, the road to WrestleMania after the Royal Rumble. Logan Paul wins by disqualification over Kevin Owens. There will be a rematch probably at the Elimination Chamber. And Logan Paul's probably going to beat him fair and square. And KO is going to go to the back of the line, or he's going to be involved in a multi-person title match with Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Because I still think you go LA Knight versus Logan Paul and AJ Styles. That's just my thinking, my theory on it as well. The road to WrestleMania is getting great. The road to the Super Bowl is getting great. The road to the All-Star game is getting okay, I guess. But we'll see what happens when all these events are coming and going. I heard that Coco Gauff lost this year at the Australia Open, but that's okay. She could pick herself back up and start all over again and win in France this year at the Olympics. So we'll see what happens with that as well. We'll see what happens with the moving pieces here. Tomorrow's NXT. NXT has a great show tomorrow. You're going to see the final team to fight in the Dusty Cup, which will be Trick and Mello game versus LWO. Dragunov and Trick will have a face-off, as well as Roxanne and Lyra Valkyrie. They'll have a face-off, especially we're going to see Roxanne versus Tatum Paxley, who put her through a table. So we'll see what happens with that there as well. The AEW Collision from Shreveport, great pictures. I wanted to see if my little homeboy was there. I didn't see him in none of the shots. To be honest with you, they got work to do in ticket sales. They have a lot of work to do in ticket sales. They are the competition. They are second tier, and I'll tell you exactly why they're second tier. They don't have butts and seats. When I go to a WWE live event, WWE live event ticket sales are bigger, and they have a lot more people at the rim of it. But the thing about it is this, and I'll say this. Yes, they have great performers. They had some great matches, but the ticket sales. And they only have one camera, one big camera in the ring. They only catch the people in the front of the audience, in front of the ring. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens as they start getting better and better. It was good to see Tony Khan. First time ever seeing him in person. And it is what it is when you see him. John Moxley and Claudio walked right beside us at the live event. So it was good to see them face to face. They looked at us and kept on walking. It was a great thing because they came through the crowd. So it was good to see that. It was good to see those guys as well as Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston and people like that. The FTR, Daniel Garcia, great match. Malachi Black took the loss. And they still got a lot to go. But it was a great time for the people of Bowie City, Shreveport to see AEW. Shout out to Tony Schiavone for showing us love. Shout out to Nigel McGuinness for showing us love. Shout out to Ring of Honor. Red Velvet won her match. The Kingdom, Dalton Castle, Nia Rose, people like that were there. Ring of Honor, wow. And they were like 4 hours in with their events. So, and the way they do it, they tape one part of the show before Collision and then tape the other part after Collision. But it was good to see Tony Khan there. It was good to see the wrestlers, the promotion, and all of that. So, thank them for coming. They'll be back, hopefully. I'm quite sure they'll be back next year, back to Bossier City, with better booths and ticket sales. So it was good to see AEW there as well. But folks, it's been nice talking to you guys. It's your boy Mike D, aka DDE8, aka 13 Wonder of the World. You guys have a good night. Tomorrow I'll be back with a preview of NXT and any other thing we want to talk about. Tomorrow might be a special pod where I talk about something different. But until then, God bless you. God keep you. I'm out.